It usually happens kind of like this. You're looking in the mirror one morning. You notice your scalp is just a tiny bit more visible than before, and you panic, asking yourself, wait, when did my hair get this weak? It feels like a sudden, out-of-nowhere realization. But here's the truth we're uncovering today. Your hair didn't just get damaged overnight. What you're seeing is the result of slow, silent, invisible damage. It's a gradual weakening process, not a sudden event.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll define the silent cause of thinning. Then look at internal sabotage through stress and sleep and starving your hair via the nutrition gap. After that, we'll cover the ignored foundation of scalp health, daily physical hair trauma, and finally, wrap up with exactly how to reverse this silent damage.
All right, let's start with Section 1, the silent cause of thinning, and exactly why it doesn't happen overnight.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it completely flips our default assumptions. When young people see thinning hair, almost everyone immediately thinks, oh, it's just my genetics, right? Like it's completely out of their control. But the real culprit, that silent cause, actually comes down to daily habits. It's your everyday routines that are quietly damaging your hair behind the scenes, making it thinner and weaker, all while you're busy blaming your DNA.
Moving right along to Section 2, internal sabotage, stress and sleep, and how a lack of rest literally attacks your roots.
So, the first specific hidden enemy here is internal exhaustion. Staying up super late, carrying around constant stress, and just not giving your body proper rest. These things don't just drain your energy, they are actively weakening your hair roots. And you know what the trickiest part is? When this damage starts, there's absolutely zero visible sign of it. Because you can't see the damage happening in real time, it's so easy to just treat your hair casually. You assume it'll always be there, right up until the visible thinning actually starts and the regret kicks in.
And this brings us to a really powerful realization. Healthy hair doesn't just come from a product, it comes from a healthy lifestyle. Think of your body as the soil that your hair grows out of. If you don't fix your sleep, manage your stress, and actually let your body recover, no topical product in the world is going to save your hair. The fix has to start from within.
That perfectly sets up Section 3, starving hair, the nutrition gap, and the reality that hair grows from the inside out.
Think about a typical day. You might spend an incredible amount of time and money focusing on your skincare or your outfits, but completely ignore what's going on inside. Living on junk food diets, barely drinking any water, totally random eating habits, and a massive lack of protein. These modern choices are quietly starving your hair. Without protein, your hair slowly becomes rough, lifeless, and that overall volume, it just vanishes.
So the crucial point here is, when your hair starts looking totally lifeless and flat, panic usually sets in. And what do most of us do? We run out and buy some new, incredibly expensive shampoo. But the problem isn't the shampoo. The problem is your daily diet. You simply cannot fix a body that is internally starving for nutrients just by rubbing a different soap on your head.
Let's check out the third hidden enemy in Section 4, the ignored foundation, scalp health, the actual soil for your hair.
Here is a massive blind spot for a lot of people. There's actually a huge difference between cleaning your hair and cleaning your scalp. Almost everyone makes sure their actual hair strands are perfectly clean, but the scalp? The reality is, most people just ignore it entirely. But healthy hair fundamentally has to start with a healthy scalp. If that foundation is weak, the whole structure is going to crumble.
Instead of addressing this real issue of scalp health, we often fall into a huge trap. We waste time constantly swapping out shampoos, buying random new hair oils, and chasing endless topical trends. But to be completely honest, none of those things will ever fix the root issue of an unhealthy, ignored scalp.
Now for our fourth hidden enemy. Section 5, daily physical hair trauma and the invisible damage you might be doing every single day.
Just consider the little things we do daily without a second thought. You jump out of the shower and aggressively rub your wet hair with a towel. Then, throughout the day, you're constantly touching it, or yanking a comb super roughly through tangles. Add in some excessive heat, sitting in your own sweat, or pulling it back into tight styles. Now, none of these are going to make your hair fall out immediately. The real danger here is the minor, invisible trauma you're causing little by little, weakening the hair shaft until it eventually just snaps.
All right, we've uncovered the hidden enemies. Let's talk action. Section 6, reversing the silent damage with practical, science-based solutions. Let's move to how this builds a complete recovery plan. Because just knowing the problem isn't enough, right? We have to take action. First up, sleep. You absolutely must fix your sleep schedule. If you're staying up late every night, your hair is never going to recover properly. You need to aim for 7 to 8 hours, because that real, deep recovery of the body and the actual repair of your hair happens at night. Second, nutrition. You need to drink way more water and pack your diet with protein. We're talking natural sources here, like eggs, milk, paneer, and dry fruits. These things directly improve hair strength. And third, handling. Cut out that daily trauma. Stop rubbing your head so aggressively with a towel when it's wet, and honestly, just stop touching your hair unnecessarily throughout the day.
It really all boils down to this. Small daily habits make a massive difference in the future. If you start taking care of your hair today, improving your sleep, fixing your diet, being mindful of how you physically handle it, you are going to be so thankful in the future. But if you keep ignoring this silent, daily damage, well, eventually only regret is going to remain.
We've covered a ton of ground today on the silent causes of thinning. So I want to leave you with a final thought, and I'd love for you to really analyze your own routine right now. What is your biggest hair problem? Is it your sleep, your diet, or maybe it's just how you're drying your hair every morning? Take a really hard look at those daily habits, pinpoint your weak spot, and start fixing it today.